The rugged landscape of Greenland is like no other on Earth. Jagged mountains give way to vast, beautiful valleys, producing a rough, rocky terrain. Pristine lakes are scattered throughout the lowlands, creating a fascinating glimpse into the Earth's archaic past. North of Greenland's south-central coast, temperatures rarely rise above freezing, leaving a desolate permafrost full of ancient rock and lichens. Despite its unforgiving climate, the frigid region is home to several big game species, including polar bear, caribou, and musk ox. I've always wanted to hunt musk ox, but I didn't want to do it in North America off a snowmobile. And that's a cool hunt, and you have to endure some icy, harsh conditions, but my buddy Mike and I decided we wanted to go someplace and do it on foot, spot and stalk with a bow. Yo!
Hey, Gus, what's
Mr.
going
Mike
on, man?
Paulo.
Welcome.
My
welcome.
attorney's office. I'm glad we're meeting on better circumstances than usually when I go to an attorney's office.
That's right. Well,
What's happening, man?
Not too much. You come into an attorney's office. How many times usually you see all these legal things? You got the sportsman in here.
Oh, come
you
on,
got
Mike. I
this
know the
stuff.
type of guy you are. When I come in, this comes out. When you have an anti-hunter come in, it all gets changed.
Can't fool an old fool.
He drops a whole tarp over everything, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So what's going on, man? This Greenland thing's looking good.
Oh yeah, I'm
It's
excited
gonna be killer,
about
man.
it. I've always wanted to go for musk ox, and they're just such a cool animal,
Mike, I felt the same way. I think it would be really cool to do it in the cold. Like, I thought that would have been really cool. First of all, we're both bow hunters, which I get it. It's tough. I just want to stalk it myself.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just not going to be able to cover the ground in the snow without a snowmobile, and then
I don't want to
That's
sit
just
in
not
the
really
back,
what I wanted
back
to
of a
do,
snowmobile
man.
for 8 hours either.
That's the only thing. So I think this Greenland thing might be off the hook. I met Mike a few years ago at a trade show through some mutual friends. Mike's an attorney in the industry. He does trademarks, patent infringement, all those kinds of things. And we had some mutual friends, and we met and just started talking about our love of bow hunting. We actually had lunch together the next day, just hit it off. He's a New York guy. He's one of my crew. He's just a cool guy. Love hanging out with him, and our friendship grew from there. I've hunted whitetail and turkey with Mike. In fact, I was with him and set up his first black bear hunt in New Jersey. I was with him when he shot that bear, and it was one of those things where I knew Mike had the passion to do some of these remote trips that I do. He would really appreciate it, and it would mean something to him.
Mike Rapallo.
Hey, Mikey, what are you doing?
Hey, Gus, what's going on?
And you, man, what's going on, brother?
Yeah, hey, I'm getting excited about things, man.
So what'd you find out? What'd you find out about about going to Greenland?
Well, I talked to the outfitter. He's got a spot for us.
They've agreed to put us in as the last
Group, which should be great. That's when the musk ox bulls ought to be in prime rut.
What's the story with the weather, Mike? What's it going to be doing then? Are we going to have any trouble getting in and out?
I don't think so. It's a little bit dicey because we've got to go through instead of going through Iceland this time of year. I guess we got to go through Copenhagen, which it could be pretty cool.
I've been lucky enough to hunt all over the world, but I've never been to Greenland, and I never hunted a musk ox. So I'm really excited about this trip. But the hunt isn't even half the experience. The travel and seeing different parts of the world is a massive part of the adventure. So we scheduled a 24-hour layover in Copenhagen, Denmark, just so we could see the sights, experience the city before we head out to the backcountry of Greenland and start this hunt.
traveling internationally, take your time a little bit. Stop and smell the roses. You may never have been to an international city that you're arriving into, or you may never get there again. For example, Copenhagen, beautiful city, beautiful international city. We could fly into Copenhagen, sit around for 4 hours, and get a flight to Greenland. Instead, what we decided to do is fly into Copenhagen. There is a hotel that's connected to the airport. Walk the few hundred yards to the hotel, check in, and then get in onto a metro into the inner city of Copenhagen to see the fishermen, to see the wharves, to see the pubs on the side of the canals. It's a beautiful city. Why not spend a few extra hours there?
Here we are in downtown Copenhagen.
Copenhagen.
Beautiful city, man. It's just old architecture. Really cool. We got a day and one night to check this out, so let's go for it, Mikey.
Gus Congemi and longtime friend Mike or Apollo have set out on an adventure to western Greenland for a spot and stalk musk ox hunt. The first leg of their journey has landed them in Copenhagen, Denmark, with enough time to explore the city and enjoy its rich history and beautiful architecture. Even though there are plenty of adventures to be had in Denmark, the time has come for Gus and Mike to board their next flight, which will take them to Kangerlussuaq in western Greenland. Although Greenland is the largest island in the world, coming in at nearly 1 million square miles, almost 85% of its landscape is permanently covered in ice. This ice sheet is the second largest in the world after Antarctica's ice sheet and is roughly 2 miles deep at the thickest point. Because of this, the entire country of Greenland hosts a small population of just over 50,000 people, leaving plenty of room for native species to thrive in this remote wilderness habitat.
So after a great time in Copenhagen, we flew to Greenland, stepped off the plane, and it was like stepping into a different era. The landscape was so foreign, prehistoric even. It was really a great experience. A lot of places where is a city, but this is Greenland. This is Greenland. It's gonna be really cool. You know, from the moment we started planning this trip, we really didn't know what to expect. You know, there's not a lot of communication from a lot of the people up here. Most of the musk ox hunting is done in the southern part of Greenland. We're in the extreme western part. And all I could tell you is that this is a mountain camp and there's no accessibility except for helicopter this time of year. This morning we're going out with a helicopter to our base camp up in the mountains. The only way to get there is by helicopter this time of year. Usually they said when it freezes in the winter, they could drive vehicles down the river, but helicopter ride, here we go. When you go on a trip like this, the anticipation of the next leg of the journey is exciting, especially when you're going to one of these flying camps. Now, I've been on float planes in Alaska and Canada. I've seen some fantastic views from those flights. But this helicopter ride into camp was one of the most breathtaking rides I've ever been on. is this?
Yeah, pretty cool.
How cool is this? Wow. Yeah, there's no roads. No roads up here.
You can see the ice pack right up there.
Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah, there's no other way up here, you know, without a helicopter. Once that helicopter crested these mountains and started landing, I tell you, it was like we were in the land of the lost. It was something that was from another time. I mean, these picturesque mountains, you know, just this bowl here where the cabin sits, and just the way this whole thing was coming together was just incredible. It was better than I could have ever imagined it.
Musk ox haven't been in Greenland forever. In about 1963, they started reintroducing musk ox here, and it is the perfect habitat for them. They thrived.
The musk ox received its name from a strong, musky odor the males emit to attract females during mating season. Although musk oxen are members of the Bovidae family, it was recently discovered that they are more closely related to sheep and goats than to oxen. Both males and females have long curved horns, which can be used to intimidate predators.
And the musk ox itself is one of the oldest mammals in North America. You look at these animals, and they are seem to be pieces of a number of different types of animals.
After getting settled in at camp in Western Greenland, the time has come for Gus and the crew to set out on the first stalk of the trip. The rut is in full swing, and the musk ox are plentiful.
Well, this time of year, the musk ox are breeding, so you're going to get your mature males with a harem of females around them. That means there's a lot of eyes, which is going to make it difficult to stalk.
Gus not only has the many watchful eyes to worry about, but also the topography of Greenland's musk ox habitat is going to make stalking within bow range very difficult. With minimal cover, the guys will have to play the wind, lie low, and most importantly, be patient.
We got in close to some of the females and some of the younger males. They just didn't seem to be afraid of us. They didn't know what we are. They don't come into contact with a lot of humans up here. But getting in on those mature males, especially once they got your wind, that's the thing that surprised me. Once they caught your wind, they were gone. That wind swirled and blew right to them. But I got to see what a good bull looks like, and that's a big bull.
In no time at all, the crew has spotted another group of musk ox and are working their way in to get a better look.
That was a big old male. You could really see the difference between the big bulls and the cows. Even though both of them have horns, you could see them males. Unfortunately, this guy had both sides broken off. It's like the peak of their rut. Got these big bulls coming down from the mountains right now to breed, and they're fighting, so you're gonna have a lot of that, but it's still a really cool thing to stalk up on one. We got in on a few good groups of musk ox, and there was one, in fact, we got in, I thought I was gonna be able to take the shot. Got in close, about 70 yards. He was set up. Everything was perfect, but one of the females was behind him. It seemed like once they knew that we were there, they kind of circled the male. And I was afraid I'd get a pass through and possibly hit that female, so we didn't take that shot.
The first day in Greenland has come to a close, and after the numerous encounters with mature bulls, the crew is eager to get back on the hunt in the morning. Gus Congemi and Mike Apollo are hiking the Arctic landscape of Greenland. With rolling terrain and little plant life across the permafrost, spotting the musk ox herds have been reasonably easy. Getting within bow range, however, has been a challenge. It's mating season for these prehistoric beasts, and eyes are everywhere.
You know, there was no shortage of musk ox here. You could glass for miles and you could see musk ox, and the thing was to put those miles on, kind of cut them off or get ahead of them, play the wind properly to get your shot. small herd up there. We're gonna stay along this beach, see if we can pop up and get a shot. Down a little closer. Still got the wind in our favor. I think we can get a shot over there. Looks like it's a good shot. Let's just give him a few minutes. The other ones don't seem to be running off. He's just moved a little bit. I don't think he knows what's happened. Just give him a little time. I gotta tell you, that was one of the most amazing experiences. I mean, just to be here, to be able to get the privilege to stalk an animal like that. They're just prehistoric. This is just incredible. What an incredible trip. We saw this guy with a small herd. We were on the shoreline. We used the bank as cover, got into 55, 60 yards and got the shot. We had to freehand it with the camera. It's a little shaky, but it doesn't diminish this hunt at all. These animals are prehistoric. It's just an incredible hunt here in Greenland. I didn't anticipate what I was gonna feel like when I got up to that musk ox, but it was just an incredible feeling to take that step back, do it with a bow, under these conditions, on foot, and to harvest an animal like that was just unbelievable.
Today we got a little more cloud cover, but we can already see some of the musk ox up. The wind is out of this direction, so we got to be careful of that and make sure that we get around them. Hopefully what we'll do is get into a situation where we can get to a spot where we can ambush the musk ox as opposed to sneaking up on them and trying to get a shot that way. Amazing area. We're some of the oldest ground on Mother Earth, and just to the north up here is the polar ice cap, just an hour's walk away. Looking for a good day. We climbed up over the vegetation and crossed the saddle into a beautiful valley with a mountain lake. You could see the polar ice cap from where we are. And we spotted a couple of musk ox. We got a big musk ox bull down here in the water. There's a cow and another bull up above. The bull is grunting towards the cow. We're hoping that this big bull is also going to head up towards him. But right now he's sitting right down here, so we're just waiting to see what he does. While we're stalking this musk ox and we're going back and forth and, you know, this 3-hour stalk, the cameraman's following us. The cameraman gets to a vantage point because I'm with the guide, and the guide and I are trying to get within range of this bull musk ox. He had a great vantage point. He was doing his job, but the last portion of the stalk where I ultimately got the shot, we had to side hill it along this mountain and to try to beat the musk ox to this big giant rock that I was going to get behind and hopefully catch my breath, get a draw, and get a shot at the musk ox. Well, all well and good for the entire stalk until I got behind that big giant rock that the cameraman's on me, but the cameraman can't see through the rock, the camera can't see through the rock, and as I got behind the rock and got that shot at that musk ox, unfortunately, the cameraman didn't get that shot because that big rock was in the way. This is a trophy of a lifetime, and I had my opportunity, 70-yard shot, long shot, but made the shot. And, you know, we went up over this ridge to catch up with him, and this is where he laid. It's just a wonderful animal.
This was just a spectacular trip to Greenland. Both Mike and I were able to harvest a musk ox with our bows, which is incredible. But before we left camp, we were able to make a hike out to the polar ice cap. It was unlike anything I'd ever seen. It was genuinely a magnificent sight, and I'm really thankful that I could share it with all of you at home.